taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Sam, Ryan, Tom. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spending with Sam, Ryan, Tom. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you gonna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, Super Bowls, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I would love to welcome you guys to not the first week, but the second week in high school football review. How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, it's
you look like a 1920s gangster. Why do you have that hat on?
Listen, first off, let me tell you guys something. Me and Sammy started the pregame show out with an argument, so I had to break the monotony of that. So this is the way I'm doing it. And I do feel a little bit like Indiana Jones or Crocodile Dundee. But I think they
you look like Indiana Jones if sci-fi did a movie.
Hey, I'll take it. I will take it all day long.
You look like after Stevie from Eastbound and Down.
What'd you say?
You're the after-school special Indiana Jones.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Let me get that bad boy turned up. You know what I'm saying? Come on
I mean,
now.
we're already turned up.
Anyway, enough. Wait, look, you can hang it behind. See, that's what that strap's for. That's all right. Anyway, so very excited about tonight. We do have a special guest coming on in about 15 minutes. So everyone that's out there watching, please don't forget to like the stream, follow the stream. We're over on YouTube. We're also on Facebook as well. Follow us over there. And big ups to everybody. Over the past 2 weeks, we've grown by like 400 followers almost. It's ridiculous. It really is, genuinely. Thank you guys so much for coming on and
Twitter as well. So Twitter is where we're dropping. That's where we're going to be retweeting a lot of the sports stories that you're seeing today. Because as you could tell right now at this point of the year, this is a football-centric show. We're covering a ton of football. We're actually doing our best to share every volleyball feed and stuff like that as they come to. So for those of you watching, any athletic department, if you follow 440 and goal, we will reciprocate. And then when you share a volleyball stream or anything like that, we will share it to the page as well because the girls deserve some time too.
Yep. Yeah, you've done a great job with that, Sam, getting those on there. I never pay attention enough for that. So,
well, it's about time.
Yeah, let's go. I don't know. We don't have a lot of time tonight. It's just an hour-long show. So let's dive right on into our quick COVID-19 update. Even though I say to axe it, Sammy, I don't feel like arguing with him, so I just go with it. Anyways, 622 cases, 46 deaths. That was yesterday's stats. Stupid bug. So no plus and no numbers going up. Sorry, I have one fly driving me crazy right now. I'm so sorry. No numbers going up. So everything's went well in that aspect of it. And you guys got anything to say about it? If not, I'm taking it down immediately.
No. Like I'm not even going to go on my soapbox. I'm done with that crap today. So it's football time. That's
congratulations to Ashtabula County keeping that and putting the goose egg up. That's the first time I've ever seen a goose egg for Ashtabula County. But good, had a good news. Yep. So. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to Tom. He moved into his house this weekend.
Yes, we did. We got a new background there.
Yep, new background back there, new man cave. So congrats over there.
Hey, thanks, guys. It was a pleasure, man, having you guys, having you over, having a couple other people. You know, kept it socially distant, did our thing. It was fun. So
under 10 over 6 feet. So don't get all hot and bothered.
Yeah, don't get all bothered. Sammy had the tape measurer. He
He wore a hula hoop strapped to him with fishing wire. No way, it was perfect. Anyways. All right, getting into a little high school ball. We covered this week Pima Valley versus St. John. Excuse me, Pima. No, what are you shaking no about?
Hey, listen, because we got to talk about Geneva, brother.
Yeah, let's get into that Geneva first. That way we can talk about the man of the hour first.
Never mind then. I mean, we only went over it twice, but it's cool. Anyways, high-scoring affair at the Spire. Geneva 56 to Edgewood's 25. It was a very exciting game. A lot of fun, a lot of things going on. Mr. Scabona and Charlie Taylor putting on a show for us, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it was really on both sides. So, I mean, it was a bit of a quarterback duel out there because you had Big Ben Scabona out there putting up the numbers, and we're going to get into those in plenty of time here. But a special tip of the hat out to Zach Winchell. As well for having a heck of a game, passing the ball a lot, getting the ball out there. They scored quite a bit. If you don't remember, Madison looked inept offensively against Geneva. Could not get the ball moving like Edgewood did. Although the score really got away at the end of it. That first half was as riveting as I've seen all year. Back and forth on both sides.
Big shout out to Mr. Bisbee. That man was putting on a show out there for Edgewood.
Brian Bisbee.
Brian Bisbee. He is a workhorse for the Edgewood Warriors. So I don't know if you're watching, buddy, but great work this weekend. Keep up that momentum. You guys will be all right.
And that's actually going to be our home this week. We are going to go right here in Edgewood and watch the Edgewood Warriors take on the Grand Valley Mustangs. So that's going to be the 440 and goal streamed game of the week. So when you guys are looking for on Friday, check us out, as well as any other streams that we can find, as long as it's free. Because unfortunately, there's a ton of people out there that are doing streaming, but they're trying to charge people to watch high school football. We'll never do that. So
no. All we ask is for some follows, some notification bell things on YouTube, some likes, whatever that is. That's all we're looking for.
Yeah, but so anyway, we talked about, a quarterback duel, but one quarterback has to win a duel. Yeah. And the one quarterback who won the duel is this week's 440 in goal player of the week, Big Bad Ben Scabona. 130 yards rushing, 120 yards passing, 2 TDs in each category for a grand total of 4 touchdowns. What a game.
Yeah, very good game. Very exciting to be able to watch him. But, we've been covering him for, 3-4 weeks now between practice and games. And, we kind of knew it was coming. It was coming.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to blow up. But you know what? Without further ado, let's bring the guy in.
Yep. You got it. You want me to get it? You got it.
Hey, what up, brother?
What is up?
I love it. We found out he's not in the bathroom. I did mistake the glass window behind him for a tile of sorts, but that's my one good eye working for you. Anyways.
You're going to hold the turbo button in the rushing department. What's going on, man?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of like a first instinct to me. Like growing up, I was always a running back, so it just kind of came naturally. And then freshman year, I changed the quarterback, and I've gone on ever since.
So now you guys run the wing T, and you don't just run it. You guys own that offense. You guys run it very well. Coach, big shout out to Coach Chip and Coach Pete and all the dudes out there. I like Coach Pete because I can hear him all the way from the press box sometimes.
Sure can.
But you guys run that very well, and this week you actually change it up a little bit because you start to throw that thing a little bit.
Yeah, I love throwing the rock. I love throwing the rock around in the air, airing it out, just making the defense a little nervous,
And throwing it to this guy doesn't make it too hard, does it? Because I mean, that's a pretty big target for you to hit.
Yeah.
That's my favorite target.
Yeah, there you go.
Chuck it at him. He'll get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like throwing it at an F-150. I mean, it's in there. Ain't no what's going on.
A big old Mack truck.
So yeah, you get your stats. Let's go ahead and run those across the bottom because I mean this is why you earn Player of the Week. 8 rushes, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. You went 6 for 7. So you don't go 120 yards on a bunch of passes. You did it right and tight 6 times, baby, out of 7. You're hitting the guy almost every time.
Yeah.
Anybody you want to thank? Anything that made it easier because we got to cover you guys against Madison. Yeah, you played very well, but you didn't play this well.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was
definitely the boys up front, and Charles behind me. When he's behind me, he's always a threat. So it really opens up everything. So it really opens up the playbook. So.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself getting I mean, I know your conditioning is probably out of this world because I haven't had a chance to look at what the defensive stats were, but you were all over the field on defense too. The 2 big fellas in the back, man, you guys just don't get a break.
No, not really, but we love it. We want to be out there every play.
Yeah.
Do you find that it helps you on offense? Like, if you have a tough go on offense, maybe you guys get shut down, it's 3 and out, something like that. Do you find it helps maybe on defense to maybe get out there and be able to be the one doing the hit to pump you back up?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was in like the third quarter, I fumbled the ball, and then I stayed out there, and then we drove them to 3 and out, and I had my confidence right back.
Yeah.
So it definitely works into your benefit. Well, I can tell you, just from my perspective, and I'm pretty sure these guys are going to agree, it's been an absolute blast getting to watch you play this year.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah.
I do gotta add, I was thinking of this, Ben, because you do both. You do good on both sides of the ball. I wanted to know, what's your preference?
Oh, offense.
Offense? I know we got a couple folks watching, so I was kind of hesitant, but I had to ask.
The thing is we have to. It's a good question because I see the same intensity on both sides of the ball.
You had some licks, man. You were out there. Even the one I was watching the video, Sammy's like, "Big Ben, lay in the wood." I was dying.
Yeah, you always have the same intensity, both sides of the ball.
Do you ever have a point where Coach Pete or Coach Sorber or Coach Simsky are like, "Hey, man, take it easy. Like, we need you to throw the ball"?
No.
They want to full go at all times, don't they?
No.
Yeah,
that's the best part.
Be that Iron Man, baby.
So, what are you looking forward to this week?
Hey, who do you guys got this week?
They got West, and I'm pulling big time, baby. 3-0. That's what I want to see.
That's the goal.
Yeah. 3-0 West G. Yeah, that's going to be a good game. It'll be exciting. I mean, they've come in and knocked off Lakeside. Who'd they beat last week?
Last week they beat
Jefferson, wasn't it?
No. Conneaut.
Last week they beat Conneaut, yeah.
Let's see if we can get a local team here, Geneva, to knock off West G. I know Sammy's pulling hard. He may have mentioned how much he doesn't care much for. We'll go that route for West Geauga. But
first of all, I don't listen. I like county squads.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
Second of all, they have the ugliest helmets I've ever seen, and third of all, they've got the worst name I've ever seen. So listen, you guys put up 56 last week. I want to see 68 this week. That's your job.
Try to make it happen.
Heck yeah.
And there's anyone that can do it, it's you and Mr. Charlie Taylor and Mr. Pete. You guys got some stuff going on over there. I'll tell you, man. You guys are doing great. Keep up that great work. Keep up that tenacity. It will take you guys places.
Yeah, I want to give you guys all credit because you know what, you and your leadership I think shows through in the rest of your team as well. You guys are all very well-spoken kids, always very respectful kids. We appreciate that out of you. It's nice to see youth like you in the community. So we have high hopes for you guys, and I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
man.
we'll get you. We'll be passing out some shirts here soon.
Yeah, get that other size for me. So
listen, you said large.
Yes.
I mean, you better say extra large next time. Just have somebody shrink that thing. Come on now.
I was going to say medium. Remember tight shirts.
Man,
Tight shirt, yeah.
I can
So
see.
Ben and Ethan Yost are going to be the first recipients of the 440 and Gold Player of the Week. So they are going to get a T-shirt. And again, thanks for taking some time to come on our show. We're not going to keep you too late because Coach Sorber will have us doing line drills. I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing that,
Air
man.
calls and
This
log
body
rolls.
isn't conducive to drills. Like this body was acquired by not doing drills. So I don't want to mess that up. You know what I mean?
All right, Ben, keep doing what you're doing, man. You guys are doing great. Run the table this year. Let's get you into the playoffs, and let's make Geneva happen this year, man.
That's the goal.
I'm not going to give you too lofty of a goal against West G. I want 5 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Say less.
All right.
Hey.
Thanks again, Ben.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben. Later,
Thank
buddy.
you, Ben.
No, Sammy, you got it. Okay.
What a nice young man.
Yeah, he's such a nice kid. He really is. Every time, it was fun. We were at that was St. John
St. John
versus
game.
PV, and not half, but a good chunk of the Geneva squad came through to watch, and that was fun to have them on there. They're excited. Every time we see them, they say hi and shake our fist bump or whatever it's called.
Air high five.
Yeah, air.
I think we've all said it, and I'm just going to keep repeating it because I don't think everybody gets to hear this enough. The Geneva Eagles have some of the most respectful kids I've ever run into. Yep. Every time I've run into them, they're stand-up young men. That is a direct reflection of parenting. It's a direct reflection of coaching. A direct reflection of the leadership out there. Correct. Because they I think everybody sees out there that this is the Eagle way, and I like to see that. I like to see that because that sort of culture makes its way through the entire team, and when it works and when you've got that culture, you better watch out. I think there are going to be 2 teams in Ashtabula County, or 2 teams in Ashtabula County that are 3-0 this week. Geneva.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Geneva's going to be one, and then who are the other 2? We'll go right into that. Why not?
Yeah, just go into it, Sam.
All right. Well, so I believe the other team that's going to be 3-0 is the Pima Valley Lakers, and I want to send a giant shout out to the PV Lakers, to everybody from Andover and that whole area, because you guys showed up in droves as well. But they're responsible for quite a bit of our light count increasing.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It was fun to watch them, and man, do they have some big boys up front there on the offense and defensive line. I've talked before. That's kind of my little thing, whatever you may want to call it, but it's fun to watch them. There's a kid out there, number 63. I'm sorry I don't know his name, but he was doing some good blocking. I was watching him. Honestly, he's got the same number as me when I was in high school, so it was hard not to pay attention to it. So, but yeah, PV, man, you guys have been coming out and, 2-0, and hopefully this weekend or week coming up, you'll go 3-0. March right into the playoffs, because it's an exciting year for all high school teams. You can have a bad run, but you're still going to the playoffs.
It's worth mentioning as well that Pima Valley, and if I'm incorrect, anybody out there, please feel free to correct me, I believe is the only team in the county to not allow a score.
Ooh, I did not know that.
I think they shut out their week 1 opponent too.
Yeah,
sure they did.
Yes,
I'm 99.8% positive.
So their week 1 opponent was Wyndham. They beat Wyndham 34-0. And then they played St. John, and it got a bit out of hand. St. John had a day, but also worth mentioning in that St. John game is hold on, let me put that out there. Also worth mentioning in that St. John game, St. John, they kept playing throughout the whole game. They really did. David DeSalvatore doing his very best. Seth Thomas really just didn't have enough time to throw the ball at any point in the game. Not really anybody's fault on there. TV is big.
I mean, the fact of the matter is Pima Valley is a very large team going against a team that didn't have a lot of size up front. And that's no fault of anyone, but it's the product of what the school has.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So St. John, unfortunately, isn't a team that's going to overwhelm you with size. St. John's going to overwhelm you with skill. They're going to overwhelm you with their running back, the shiftiness that they have in the backfield. I mean, St. John has what, like 3 or 4 legit running backs that they can deploy at any time that are shifty, fast kids. But the thing is it was really a David versus Goliath type thing. I mean, you had number 44 for Pima Valley, Victor Ray, just shooting into that backfield. And Seth Thomas just had nowhere to go. Nothing he could do could mitigate what was being thrown at him. And it was a testament to Delgosh and Marcus Parker and the whole staff, though, because those kids didn't quit. It would have been very easy for them to just lay down after that second quarter, but they didn't, man. They really
and also worth talking about, St. John is down 2 of their playmakers. And when you're a Division 6 team, you cannot have 2 of your playmakers down. So you had David Fuentes down with the knee, and then you've got the freshman that they bring in, DeMario Hanna, who at this point, I'm not sure, so I'm not going to comment as to what the injury is, but doesn't play and may not be playing for quite a while. Mm-hmm. So, DeMario Hanna, in week 1, 2 receptions for 60 yards. So you take 60 yards of offense out there. David Fuentes is literally a utility knife for St. John. Yes, David DeSalvatore does a lot. David Fuentes does everything. Gets tackles on defense, does the run and gun, grind it out with running the ball. He gives some blocking. I can promise you that if he's out there, Thomas is going to have a couple extra seconds to make that throw. And there were a couple times out there where if he had time to throw the ball, St. John gets on the board. Now, that is not to take anything away from Pima Valley.
Nothing.
Because Pima Valley is legit. And Pima Valley is another school that I think you can look into probably winning a playoff game this year, if not.
I was going to say, I didn't realize what division they were. And that is for being, would you say, D5?
Yeah, they're either D5 or D6.
One of those two. And the amount of kids that they field, honestly, that's similar to what like Kirkland would have as a D5, D6 school. That many kids coming out. I mean, they have a good chance of running the table this year. We'll see. We got a couple more weeks of football. Honestly, when you talk about this year, you put COVID into effect in the first 2 weeks. Most of the time these schools all have scrimmages before this. They can really see what their playmakers can and can't do. And they had to go into these 2 first games trying to figure that out and adjust on the fly. So,
and I want everybody to take a time out just for a second and recognize PV has some outstanding players.
Yes.
I believe the one kid's name is Wilkerson.
Wilkerson.
He was an absolute monster during that game. But Tyler Bean is for real. Tyler Bean is for real. Tyler Bean ran the ball well. He passed the ball well. Tyler Bean's going to be somebody we're going to keep an eye out from here on out. He's going to give a lot of people trouble. Tyler Bean is a problem on any program out here. That line, if PV's line isn't their line is probably the second or third biggest in the county.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
They roster according to Max Preps. I mean, the roster and 34 kids, and usually these guys aren't right on everything, but there's a lot of kids on that roster for a D5, D6 school. To be honest with you, a lot of kids.
So impressive to me about Tyler Bean, Sammy. How you were talking about Tyler Bean being, how good he was. Tyler Bean was effective at dropping back. He was effective at scrambling, and he was very, very, very effective on the bootleg. And that's just something that you don't really see in, not to take anything away from any high school kids because they're all talented in their own right. But Tyler Bean, I mean, at those 3 different types of quarterback style, he was very effective every single time he was doing it. And he was confident. That's the thing. And I think that played a huge part in the success that Pima Valley had because that kid was so confident going out there and doing what he did, man.
He did a great job, but you know what? It's not hard to be confident when you don't ever have anybody in your face.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I was just going down the roster here. And I'm not going to, I don't want to screw it up, but 201 is 285 pounds. 215, 275, 265, 300.
Yeah.
Units.
Big boys.
Yeah, I mean, those are numbers that you see at St. Ed's.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
big guys out there and getting physical. And that's the best part about the game.
Yeah, and he had a lot of time to throw. He had and they weren't just pass blocking well either, because they got off the ball. For as big as those kids were, they got off the ball very well too, opening up lanes. So, St. John has a tough day. Flat out, I think they got out muscled. I think is probably a safe assumption to what happened in that game. But St. John, pick up your head, dust it off, man. Because this week you got Vienna Matthews. I think you're going to have a great game. I am picking. I was wrong last week, but dog, I'm gonna get right. I'm gonna be right one of these weeks. My pick of the week, we'll talk about next. But this week, I'm gonna say my pick of the week is going to be St. John recovering from that big loss. They get a win over Matthews. That is a highly contested game every single year. Every year they play, it's tight.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a fun game. But let's talk about, why don't we get into talking about what we got coming up this week?
Well, okay.
Yeah, am I missing something?
No, sorry. You want to run the scores?
Yep, I skipped over that. My bad. So let's go into the scores. Let me pull this image up for you guys. Week 2 scores. Boom. All right, so as you guys can see, this is a list of the local teams around here. What the scores were. Yeah, so 66-0 PV. West G went to Connie out and beat them 24-7.
Trey Zimmerman is responsible for 3 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah.
And he has just an absolute week. Tom, take it away. Rich is waiting for you.
All right. So Chagrin Falls, they
West Geauga, brother.
Oh, West Geauga. Oh, yeah, because Joe Rich messaged me in the show and told everyone that I have an affinity for Trey Zimmerman, and I'm not gonna lie, I do. I mean, that kid is very good. I mean, when we saw him play against Lakeside, that boy had over 150 rushing yards at the end of that game. When I was looking at the stats a little bit on Max Preps and such, I mean, he hung 3 touchdowns on Rocco Dobrin's team, and that isn't sitting well with Coach Rock right now. Okay, but when you have a player like Trey Zimmerman in this area that's going to come out and go against your team, that there's going to be a problem. I liken it to like when Jamaro Spikes played for Lakeside. When he went against any team, you knew Jamaro was going to hang some stats on you because Jamaro was just that transcendently talented. And I believe that Trey Zimmerman is, if he's not at Jamaro's level, he's right below it. Because from what I saw, it's tough to bring that kid down, and you can't teach that what he's doing every week. That's innate ability right there. That's respect.
Yeah, and West Geauga runs that weird
with her flex bone.
And thank you to Coach Sorber for letting us know what that was, because as we were tripping all over ourselves trying to figure out what in the name of John Madden was going on out there on that field.
Right. I think, here comes Coach Rich. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he called it something else, but it seems like there could be about 8 different titles for that. But we're going to stick with
basically what it is for those of you who don't know. West Geauga runs a quarterback and 2 running backs in a tight set in the shotgun. But it's not a full shotgun. It's more like a pistol.
Quite a bit of motion.
They run motion back and forth, but they always have one receiver wide.
Yep.
It's very, very weird. And Trey Zimmerman, and what that does is it opens up giant lanes for that Zimmerman kid. And he takes advantage of all of them.
Yeah. And he's a great defensive back, too.
They should just call it the Bermuda Triangle because you never know where anybody's at.
That's right. You need to get lost in,
Ryan. Yeah, dude. That was sweet.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know what people are doing, where they're going, why they're going. But the one game I wanted to touch on this week, because I had a lot of high hopes for them, if I could find that, was that Lakeside versus Chagrin Falls.
Valley.
Or was it Chagrin Valley or Falls? I'm sorry.
Chagrin Falls. Chagrin Falls.
Lakeside did take the L 28-7, but I remember listening. We were in, I think I think Geneva Edgewood third quarter, Lakeside's third quarter here in the stats, and I think it was 17-7 at that point.
Yeah, it was close throughout that game.
Right. The score doesn't really tell, you know what I mean? Something happened.
No, and
I'd like to catch the video of it.
I got the stats up.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, and the stats don't point to a game that's wildly different offensively. So what you have is total amount of plays. The Dragons actually win that category, 56 total plays. They have 173 yards of total offense, which isn't great considering, Siebenek threw for 265 in week 1.
Right. Yeah.
But they go 104 in the air, 69 on the ground, as opposed to Chagrin Falls, who has 49 plays. They only have a total of 178 yards, but 31 of those are in the air, 147 in the rushing game. And this Chagrin Falls is
how many turnovers?
That's what I was going to get at next.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can almost promise you why Lakeside lost without knowing. They probably gave up 3, maybe 4 turnovers.
This Chagrin Falls team is, in a lot of coaches' opinion, would have been the favorite without Corona to win the CBC this year. So there were really high expectations for this team, and Lakeside gives up 4 turnovers again this week. 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles lost.
Yep.
You cannot win ball games that way. Which
I
guarantee they played their butt off.
Lakeside has so much talent. So much talent. Once they put it together, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, but a lot of times this is almost like a scrimmage for them. A lot of these schools, it genuinely is. They're working out the kinks. No schools had the ability this year to scrimmage someone to see who the playmaker was, where they best sit, where they best fit. They're doing it on the fly.
You cannot have your turnover margin be 4-0.
Right.
And you'll never win a game that way, ever.
I mean, in 2 weeks, Lakeside's given up 8 turnovers. I do believe the previous game there was 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles as well. So all they're doing is shooting themselves in the foot the entire time. And when we were there, Sammy, that's all. I mean, that's what we kept saying. Unfortunately, is you're shooting.
I'll tell you what. I wish we could have seen it, only because even though they did lose, my boy Savion Colbert had 1 pass for 51 yards. So I'm assuming there was some trickery associated with that. I would have liked to have seen it. So Buzz, if you're watching, or Coach Fry, or Lou, our boy Lou Edwards, if you're watching, I need to see that play because I'm sure it was very cool to watch. To get an idea. Some other stats we're talking about that in that game. Jay Sean Sanders, 23 attempts for 71 yards and a touchdown. So he does have the Dragons' lone touchdown, with his long being a 22-yard run. No other real rushing yards to talk about. But receivers, they've got 3 different guys with multiple receptions.
Yep.
So we got Brandon Ford, who ends up with 2 for 57, including the long 51 yards. So I'm assuming that must have been Colbert to Ford, which would have been super cool to see. And then you got the workhorse, Savion Colbert, 5 receptions, only 28 yards. But
how did Mr. Rafa do this week? Sorry.
So
Alec Rafa did not register in the receiving yards
category. He didn't register anything offensively, which is strange because when we saw him play the week 1, I mean, that was a kid out there that was running possessed. I mean, that would have been pretty cool to see him get going again this week.
Well, the Dragons add a third.
You read my mind. You read my mind there. They added Sean Allgood Jr.
Yep. So he's not technically Sean Allgood Jr. He's Sean J. This is a guy I've known him since he was a young kid. But he gets three receptions for 16 yards. So they're throwing the ball pretty good.
Those are those screens or those wide receiver, I don't know, flare outs, screen outs, whatever they are. Lakeside loves to run those.
They really do. And they do a great job running them.
Wide receivers left, one cracks in and one comes back. But
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna
it's
be really
listen,
excited.
three guys touching the ball for Lakeside is great. Obviously they're not Edgewood. Edgewood had 8. Edgewood had 8 different guys touch the ball.
Oh, I tell you what, man, I know we talked about it earlier in the show, but you brought it up. I can't get enough of Brian Bisbee. Man, I'll tell you what, he is just such a workhorse for the Warriors.
He is.
It is amazing to watch that kid, and he just goes to town the entire time when he's playing. He's got a motor that just does not stop, just never quits.
It's early in the season. They are working out the kinks. Isaiah Harris was hurt last week. When that Edgewood Warriors team is healthy, when that Edgewood Warriors team has, got their lumps and bumps, which will probably happen around week 4 or 5. Look out. Edgewood's going to try somebody. Edgewood's going to try somebody because Winchell's a stud as a quarterback, and Isaiah Harris, people don't understand how much of a monster he is as well.
He's huge.
Now, you put those two out there with big play Brian Bisbee, Edgewood's going to get at some people. Edgewood's had 2 rough weeks. They're going to recover, though.
I do believe Lakeside plays Harvey, Coach Rich, just so you say.
They play Harvey
and the Red Raiders.
Yeah, all right, we kind of got off topic. That's kind of my fault. But let's go back into the scores of the week so we can review the rest. So Hubbard beats Jefferson. That was another nail biter because we were listening to that one too, man. Yeah. That was another one that you just knew that it was right on the edge where they needed to be, but they're learning. So Kenston comes in and beats Madison 21-14. Berkshire over GV 34-6, and Geneva over Edgewood 56-25. And like it says on there, don't forget this Friday coming up, we got live coverage of the Warriors taking on the Grand Valley Mustangs. So don't forget to join us there. And I'm pumped because hopefully we got some things working out, get a little bit better quality. There's no promises, folks. Yeah. We're going to stream it usual, but we do have a few things in the works. Hopefully it will make it a little bit better. But we'll see how that one turns out. Just know that no matter what, you're going to have a stream of the game. So.
Yeah, but so Jefferson, they go out there, they get right down to the doggone wire. It doesn't go their way, but somebody worth talking about out there in the Jefferson, Ed Rankin and Brandon Hanna and Coach Henson and the whole squad, those Falcon boys, they got this kid by the name of Grant Hitchcock. And Grant Hitchcock is throwing that thing around, and he's finding his way. Grant Hitchcock right now, 31 for 60. 257 yards. He's got 2 touchdowns. Now, 4 interceptions on that. So that's not a great, 1-to-1. That's not a great ratio. But the first week they had a tough week. Tough week for him the first week. So he's recovering. Almost all of those 257 yards come against Hubbard because they didn't get too much done against Niles. So he figures it out. Danny Bruckman's getting it together. He's figuring it out. Jefferson's got some guys. Trent Hodge. 111 yards on 12 catches, 2 touchdowns right now. And then they got this kid on the defense, Mr. Sabo. And he has, let me double check. I don't want to misquote him. Yeah, he's got 19 tackles, including a sack. That's in 2 weeks. The boy's out there workhorsing for those Jefferson Falcons. Jefferson is figuring it out.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to be the guy that says it. It's just
you know what? Yeah, we got to give some credit to Jake Bell from Edgewood as well. Yeah, Jake Bell jumps into that tight end spot and makes some plays, some plays and some drives. It was a fun game. It was a really fun game.
Edgewood, that first and second quarter, I'll tell you what, Edgewood and Geneva had us running so much trying to keep up with what was going on. We just couldn't. There was just no way to keep up because they were both running hurry-up offenses and just trying to manage, trying to call it out, what was going on. It was impossible, but it was a blast to watch that game. You just didn't know it was going happen. And here comes Butchko, who says, "I'll never kick a field goal." What's he do? Lines up and field goal. Then what happens?
Well,
the next play, onside it.
It was a cool game to watch because you got Coach Sorber, and Coach Sorber, you could set your clock to it, what they're going to do.
I was going to say, Coach, if you're still watching, I know you're on here. We were on the opposite side, about a good 70 yards away from you, and I could hear every word you were screaming at those kids. It was great.
and Matt Pete not far behind him.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But it was two different styles. It was super fun to watch. I'm looking forward to week 5 though. I'll be on to week 5, getting down there and looking at this Jefferson Falcons. So they got a big kid out there. I believe his name is Austin Jones, number 89. Gonna come into his own. You better watch out for this kid because he's gonna make some catches this year. You can't teach a kid to be that big. And it's a track meet. It's a track meet. When they're out, when they get out there, it's going to be a track meet, and I can't wait to watch it because Rankin and Hannah and Henson and the whole Falcon crew, and Collins, our boy Coach Scott Collins on that. They've got a great staff out there. We're looking forward to getting out into Jefferson, into that beautiful stadium as well, and covering it there. It's one of my favorite high school stadiums around. That's going to be cool, but that's week 5. We're holding off because, we got to work schedules and figure it out.
Yeah. I was going to say, this is not football of old. This is not football from 15 years ago where it was, 98% run, 2% pass. You don't know what's going to happen from a week-to-week basis. It is very exciting. You have no clue. You would come out. I mean, we had the assumption Geneva was going to run the ball 99% of the time. And
he throws for 120 yards.
Goes for 120 yards, and he runs for 2 and throws for 2. You know what I mean? And then Edgewood, they even got the ball going on the ground. Butchko was the first one. 98% of the time we pass it. And they make field goals.
Yeah.
Just prove me wrong, let me tell you that. So, but yeah, it's been a super exciting season.
Awesome.
I'm just excited. We have 10 weeks of this. I know week 7 is playoffs. And we'll make some adjustments there, but no matter which way we do it, we do have still 10 weeks of football, however that one works out. So
yeah, you can bet this. We are going to, claw, scratch, and fight to get into at least one of these local team playoff games to get it out there for you guys. I'm sure that the Ohio High School Football Association will have some way to try and block us out. That way they can charge everybody $9.99 for the stream, which again, I will reiterate is garbage, but we're going to do our best to combat that.
Paywalls.
Maybe we'll just show up in whatever team's gear. We'll just follow the bus wherever it goes and just kind of hop in line with them. I'll shave my beard for it. I could go back to looking like I'm 12 again. Just give me a jersey.
Brian, no one will believe it. No one will believe it.
Give me a jersey. We'll get into that joint. Come on now.
Well, Sammy's got the baby face, so I think they believe that.
And I'm telling you, I get rid of this, you guys will be shocked. You will be absolutely shocked, especially when I just leave the stash. It gets a little weird, but
yeah.
So yeah, let's get into. We got about 15 minutes left. Upcoming matchups coming up this week is the next one on the docket. Let me bring up the thing. Here we go. So this week, as like we said, we're going to be live from Edgewood versus Grand Valley over at Edgewood. What is the field name? I can't think of the field name.
Orlou, baby.
Orlou. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Geneva is going to go out and take on West G and bring home that W.
That's right.
Conneaut at Warren.
Conneaut has the toughest of tasks this week.
Yep.
So Coach Rocco Dobrin and his boys are going to go down to the land of Maurice Claret in Warren, JFK.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to go down there after a tough loss against West Geauga this week. So Conneaut is 1-1. Going against Warren, JFK. And I'll be honest with you, and I apologize for not being as prepared as I should be. I don't know what Warren JFK's I don't know what Warren JFK's record is. And I don't know why Jefferson is not on there. I will update that as well. Thank you. Jefferson's going to be at Struthers this week.
So Warren JFK is 2-0 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And Sam, earlier in the show, you gave your pick of the week for your game of the week. My pick of the week this week is Conneaut over Warren JFK. I truly believe that Conneaut, that Coach Jobrin's going to go in there. Remember, Conneaut went 9-1 last year, and they beat some pretty good PA teams. And yes, I think that Coach Dobrin, hey, we got our one loss out. This is done. We're going to go down there and we're going to kick some JFK butt. You know, you guys don't got Maurice Claret anymore. So, you know, that's my pick of the week. Conneaut over Warren JFK. You guys can book that however you want to do it. But
hey, you know what? I like this. I think we're all going to have to do that. We're all going to have to pick our game of the week. So guess what, Ryan? By process of elimination, you better just pick one there, Chris Farley.
What's that? What am I picking? Sorry, I was reading.
Oh, my God, Ryan, what we talked about for the last 15 minutes. Game of the week.
The game of the week, you said?
Your game of the week.
Who's going to win this week?
Yeah.
And Jefferson's at Struthers, by the way. Jefferson's at Struthers. Thank you, Jack Sabo.
No, that's not up here, is it, on this little thing? I think Edgewood's going to pick up their first W for the year against GV. I think in Geneva and West Geauga, I'm not going to call it a shootout because
you can't steal my pick. You got to pick a different game.
Oh, I thought we were picking who's going to win each game.
No. You got to pick your game pick of the week. Win your game.
And who'd you take, Edgewood or Geneva?
So I took Geneva over West Geauga.
And then Tom took
Conneaut over Warren JFK.
Then I got to go. Man, that's tough because I want to pick them both. I'm just going to do it because I don't care. I think Edgewood and the Lakeside game of the week, my two games of the week. We'll change it on you guys. How about that? Edgewood and Lakeside are going to pick up their first W this week against Lakeside versus Harvey and Edgewood versus GV. It will be a celebration in Ashtabula County.
Yeah, and you know what? We need it because last week was a tough week for Ashtabula County.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the only victor in the county, and that was basically by process of elimination because they were playing another county team, so one county team had to win. So Ashtabula doesn't have a great showing this week. So for those of you guys watching and keeping score, my pick of the week this week, Geneva. The Geneva Eagles go to West Geauga and put it on those boys. So you know what? I'm gonna put a score out here because I'm that kind of guy.
I'll do it for Geneva versus West G because with Scabona being the player of the game from Geneva, we got to have a score up there.
That's right. So
Sammy, what do you got?
I'm gonna say Geneva 35, West G 17. Trey Zimmerman gets held to 60 yards.
Okay. I like it.
Tom,
all right.
What do you think this Conneaut game is going to look like?
All right, so Warren JFK is a high-scoring offense predicated a lot on their running game, but we know that Dobrin has Dobrin's got a good defense. I think it's going to be 38 JFK, 41 Conneaut.
Okay.
Man, I'm going to just stick with the Edgewood game. I'm not going to pick two. Edgewood, GV. I think Edgewood comes out slinging it. My main squeeze right now, Mr. Brian. I can't think of his last name.
Bisbee,
right? Bisbee, my main squeeze, Bisbee. Man, I'll bet I'm gonna have to say he gets two into the end zone, and then quarterback throws for two. I'm gonna say it's gonna go. Oh man, let's see. I'll bet it's gonna be 28-14, Geneva.
28-14.
It's going to be like 27 or an onside kick.
Sergeant Costa Rica, I want to thank you for letting us know what those were. So that Warren JFK is 2-0. So I'm just going to recall, I said that Geneva's going to win over West Geauga, 35-17. Conneaut is going to win over Warren JFK. That's Tom's pick of the week, 41-38. Ryan's pick of the week is Edgewood versus Grand Valley. He's got them winning 28-17.
28-14.
28-14. All right. 28-14.
But again, it's going to be like 25 somehow.
And I will tell you this 100% matters. because if this boy is out on the field, watch out. I cannot wait for a fully healthy. I'm telling you, that kid is something special.
Yeah,
he's going to be somebody to watch this week.
Yeah, I am. I can't tell you how excited I am to watch Edgewood this week.
He's got his receiver gloves. They're Joker, Heath Ledger Joker receiver gloves right there. That kid's already winning for me, man. If he's got that out there, I'm going to tell you what.
You look at the gear. I'm going to look at the fact that this kid
I'm looking at both.
No, don't even act, Sammy, like you didn't care what you look like. Come on. Even my big old butt as an offensive lineman. Hell, I told y'all last week I wore a do-rag under my helmet because I thought that shit was cool.
You know what? I had super great gear too, but I never won Pigskin Pete's Bone Crusher Hit of the Week. What matters is that guy is huge. He's talented, and when he gets back on the field, look out because he's coming back with a vengeance. If Isaiah Harris is healthy this week, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't end up putting all kinds of numbers up and being our player of the week next week.
Yeah.
Who's going to win player of the week next week? Let's see what's going on with that. You guys, let's open the door. Geneva's been running the table because they've had huge stats. St. John came close week 1 with David DeSalvatore 4 for 155, and this week, honestly, Winchell had a hell of a game too. But you can't turn your back on 4 touchdowns, can you?
Let me put my hat on for this because Winchell over at Edgewood's going to make it rain on them GV boys. So
Mark Dietrich is falling 52-0. Shocker. And you know what?
That would be 3 weeks in a row with no points given up by PV.
I don't think he's wrong. You know why? Because Chalker had a tough time against St. John, and PV did not have a tough time against St. John. So, PV, after this week, I think I'm going to agree with Dietrich here. I think they win big, and I don't think they give up a single touchdown this week.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
But who's your player of the week then right now, if you're going to guess? That's where we're going, right?
That's where we're going to go with this one.
Put the schedule back up. Real quick.
All right, hold on. Here we go. Oh, wrong button. Here we go. So Edgewood let's just do this. Player of the game for each game. Let's go. Real quick. We got it up.
All right, Edgewood player of the game. I'm going to say Isaiah Harris if he's healthy.
I'm going to say Winchell.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go Winchell too.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tom, if you don't pick Winchell, let me take this down. He wears number 7, and he's the closest thing to a high school Mike Vick I've ever met in my life. That kid gets out of everything. Oh, yes. What? I'm telling you, I'm wearing a hat because he's going to make it rain. I'm wearing the hat to the game on Friday.
Okay.
Just in case I get punted in the head with a football. You never know.
All right, next game. Geneva West G, player of the game.
Geneva West G, player of the game. I'm gonna go Charlie Taylor for player of the game for Geneva. I think he's gonna rumble against that defensive line, and I think he's going to make a big problem for my boy Trey Zimmerman when he's playing defense. So I think it's going to be Battle of the Titans, and Charlie Taylor comes out on top. I bet Taylor rumbles for 130 and 2 touchdowns.
I'll tell you real quick. It's going to be Mr. Pete. He's due for a breakout game. He's had great games.
Thunder, you.
I stole it because I knew where you were going.
Pete boys are special, man.
As much as I like Charlie Taylor, but I think West G is going to get after Geneva a little bit on the defensive line this week. So I think Charlie Taylor is going to be helping in the backfield quite a bit. Not saying he's going to get his carries. I'm not saying that, but he's going to have to help in other ways. And I think Pete needs a breakout game, and I think this is the week. And I think instead of 7 or 6 for 7 this week, I'm going to say Scabona goes. I'm going to go like 9 for 10 because they're going to open it up a little bit because they're going to find an avenue that makes a little more sense.
Scabona's efficient.
So Scabona is probably going to be my pick just because he's Big Ben, the big player, the big playmaker. He's got the ball in his hand every play. So I think my pick for that game, player of the game, probably is going to be Ben Scabona. I think Scabona is going to put 100 on the ground and at least 80 in the air.
The question for Scabona is going to be, what does he do on defense?
That's another thing too. Yeah, and the defense is going to help him there too. And you guys, you took my pick. Damn it, Brady Pete was going to be my off-topic pick, you bastard.
Hey, you get a hat like this, you can go first. Anyways, Connie out at Warren JFK. Honestly, I you know what? I'm not familiar too much with the kids there. You guys are more than I am, so I'm gonna let you guys take this one.
Jake Slayton. Jake Slayton he's the X factor in this game.
I would say, that he's part of that two-headed monster, right?
He's the quarterback, part of that two-quarterback system that was supposed to be the big arm, but ended up putting up some big rushing numbers. So I think Jake Slayton is going to be the player of the game that game. If they win, it's going to be because Jake Slayton does big work.
I want to agree with you, and I think I have to at this point. I think I got to go Jake Slayton. But I don't know. Kiefer Mandagello, man. Kiefer Mandagello. I think Jello might be player of the game for Connie. I mean, he's going to have a big game. Slayton's going to be doing it, but Mandagello's got to be the recipient there.
So we got Lakeside and Harvey.
All right. So this is, I think, for this week, and he's my pick for player of the week, like overall, 441 goals player of the week overall. This is going to be my pick preliminarily. But Harvey is not that great on defense. They've given up an average of 28 points a game, with one being 37 last week, a ton through the air. I think Brandon Ford is going to have a monster game. I think he's going to just eviscerate that Red Raider defense. I think you see Brandon Ford go 8 catches, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. And maybe throwing a couple rushes there, and he's going to contribute on defense. You know that boy's going to contribute on defense. And from what I've seen, because I've been doing my homework, you guys would be proud of me. I've been watching some stuff. Sammy, you'd be really proud of me. Harvey's special teams is not that great. Okay, I mean they're good, but they're not great. Brandon Ford is going to have a huge impact in the return game. So I think it's going to be Brandon Ford, player of the game for Lakeside, and player of the week, 441 goal.
My pick for that game, not super. I mean, I think everybody knows it's going to be Savion Colbert. Savion Colbert does absolutely everything, everywhere on the field. I think he's going to have a big game receiving. I think he's going to have a big game defensively. Savion Colbert, I think, is Lakeside's X factor in this game. There's some other guys that are going to play a big part, but the big man, Savion Colbert, yep, that's going to be the player of the game for Lakeside.
First, I want to say I feel like I look a little bit like Cam Newton right now.
Nothing wrong with that. Brother.
Secondly, here's what's going to happen.
You look more like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Hey, nothing wrong with that either.
Call it what you want. Secondly, what's going to happen this week, Lakeside Harvey. I did look at their schedule, and Harvey's played some tough opponents they've lost. It hasn't been just, they haven't been getting walked over, all that fun jazz, but it's been tight battles. But
they lost 2-37
against a team, yes, against Perry, who we won't say what happened to the team first week of the season who they played against.
Perry's legit.
Yeah, Perry's legit. I'm saying right. So the two, that's kind of an oddity. It sounds like a punt that went in the end zone. But Mr. Rafa was, for me, probably –
that's not a bad pick.
He's going to be the player of the game if Lakeside wins, because I think, honestly, Mr. Edwards' buzz figures out, he played a bigger role last week than what we expected. Rafa can run, man. I know on video does not do justice for that kid. That kid is screaming fast, and when he gets out in the open, there's nobody on that field that's going to touch him. Maybe Savion Colbert, but he plays on the same team, so that doesn't count. But if Rafa, it would be if they get him going, find him a use. And it's going to be interesting this week because I think Sean Jay is going to play a bigger role this week than just 3 yards.
I can't wait.
What do you go, 6 or 16?
Area up. I can't wait to Sean Jay finds his way. Because Sean Allgood on the Lakeside Dragons is a special player. You might not know about him now, but you will by the end of the year. The kid's big. He's got the very best wide receiver coach in Northeast Ohio, probably the whole state, as his father. That kid's going to catch everything. He's a true blood athlete. Watch out for him. It's just he's so early into it right now. Lakeside is flush with talent.
Yeah,
but I love that pick.
I can't preach that enough, and I know they're 0-2, and it doesn't seem like they are. If Lakeside, if this was a regular year, non-coronavirus year, look out for Lakeside. Genuinely.
Can I tell you what? I mean, I just want to put this out before we go over the last 3 games. Every game, like, it sucks. I want all of our teams to win. I do want but the fact that everybody's in the playoff, it's almost like every game has been a scrimmage.
Yeah.
Like even if they get blown out, you're like, all right, well, they're going to put that together as long as it's together by week 6.
Yep. That's it. That's all that matters. It's actually week 7, to be honest. They got one game week 6, don't they?
Yeah.
So week 7 starts playoffs. So yeah, you're 130% right. You can go 0-6, and then you can win out the playoffs and be the champion of your division.
That's right.
That is the potential to have that happen this year. Last 2, let's see. We got St. John versus Matthews. I'm going to say I think everyone across the board. I won't speak for everyone, but number 12.
David DeSalvatore.
Thank you for saying, I don't know. I can't remember my own name half the time, I think. But, Mr. DeSalvatore is going to be the player of the game there. With the quarterback, though, is going to play a big role in him being the player of the game. So, and I can't think of the quarterback's name either. I need a roster for everybody. You guys have, like, rosters in front of you, or am I just that
Oh, I just remember the names.
We just remember the names, brother.
Like, I'm thinking, like, these guys got, like, something, a board next to them. We can just kind of peek over.
David DeSalvatore is your pick. This week, actually, my pick, David Fuentes. David Fuentes is going to be player of the game for St. John. I think he's going to play a big part on the offense. I think he's going to play a bigger part on the defense.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go with Daniel Miller. I'm going to go with Dan Miller. He's
Miller,
really nice. The one thing I was really impressed with when they were down, Delgosh found ways to innovate, and you saw Daniel Miller handling quarterback duties in addition to running back, receiver, and defense. He was in on every play. I think that kid's primed for a breakout game, and I think it's going to come against Matthews, man. I think it is.
The last game, I'll let you guys take this one. PV versus Chalker. I'm going to say you guys mentioned, I think, the quarterback quite a few times because of his stats last week against
Tyler Bean.
Tyler Bean against St. John. So I'm gonna go with Mr. Bean again. Process of elimination because I know nobody else right now. So
I'm gonna go with number 44, Wilkinson.
No, 44 is Victor Ray. He's the linebacker. 23 is Jonah Wilkerson.
Okay, I'm sorry. So Jonah Wilkerson, number 23. That's going to be my player of the game for that game. Tyler Bean's a special player. I think the running back opens up the game for them.
I think it's going to be Victor Ray for me. Victor Ray was in on every play.
Yes,
big boy.
Yes,
he lined up on offense, and he's their kicker. So, I mean, that boy's going to – when you got a big boy like that's that athletic, he's going to showcase his talents, and I think it's Victor Ray this week.
Ooh, curveball.
We got one game left to cover because I didn't put it on the schedule, so we do need to we need to make our picks for Jefferson at Struthers this week.
Okay.
That's a tough one because I don't know much about Struthers. I mean, I do know actually I had a cousin that played for Struthers, but that's been about 8 years ago now.
Well, I'm going to go with my pick first this week. They've got a kid on there that I said in the preseason I think is going to be special. I think he's still going to be special. Danny Bruckman, I think, has his his standout game. He's been flirting with it for a couple weeks. Grant Hitchcock is a heck of a player. I think he's going to have a great game too. I think Danny Bruckman opens it up this week, gets a receiving touchdown, as well as a rushing touchdown. Jefferson Falcons get their first win of the season this year on the heels of Danny Bruckman.
Okay. I too think Jefferson's going to get their first win of the season this week. But I think my player of the game is going to come from a player that didn't contribute as much last week because they were just integrating him. But I think my pick for player of the game is Jonathan Wazzle. He's the slot back for Jefferson. He wears number, I think, 81. But Ed Rankin loves the slot back, and I think that they're going to involve the slot back quite a bit. I think Wazzle's going to light it up this week. And when you're that little, that shifty, I think it's going to have some problems for a Struthers team that's kind of a little bit bigger because they're not going to be able to kind of catch up with him. So
I'll tell you who my pick's going to be. My pick's going to be the whole offensive line because they're going to protect the quarterback and let him rip the ball down the field, baby.
And that's the other thing I can't wait.
What do you want, brother?
I really wish that we could get some kind of a stream on that Jefferson game because Brandon Hanna is running one of the coolest looking offenses in the area. It's wide open. There's a lot going on. Jefferson's going to open the doors this week and show people what's up.
Yes, they are.
Yep. It's going to be a very interesting week, man. I'm super excited about some high school football this week. And we haven't even spoke about it, and we're going to keep it simple because we're done with the show. I know hour long tonight's plenty because we get 4 hours over the weekend. But anyways, I'm pumped. The Browns kick off this weekend. So quickly, Kareem Hunt signs 2-year, $13 million deal. Amazing.
I still think we trade him midway through the season.
Oh, boy.
It's possible. It's possible.
We had a lot of Browns news today, man. There was a lot of stuff on the Browns today. I'm going to tell you what. Some stuff we can't talk about on here, but it involves Odell Beckham Jr. Just go on Twitter, look it up. But, hey, speaking of football, we will be debuting our fantasy league. We have our roster in. So shout out Ray Tirado, Staff Sergeant Brandon. I'm not going to butcher your last name out of respect. Marlon Yap, Matt Keene, Felix Rivera, and Matt Saley. You guys are in the fantasy league. So we're going to hit that up. We'll give you guys some updates.
I do believe, Mr. Sabo, I think that is a paywall, though. I think you have to pay for that. Because we were trying to get some stuff from that YSN Live last week, and they wanted credit card numbers.
Yeah. Hey, when's the draft, Tom?
Draft is tomorrow night.
Perfect. I know nothing. It's going to be great.
It all just happened, okay? Like, first game is Thursday. I mean, you got Chiefs Texans.
What time tomorrow night?
Well, boys, we're going to be doing a 9:15.
Okay. I'll take it.
Sam, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier, but that
it's fine. You listen, I've auto-picked before.
Listen, you're not auto-picking, brother.
All right, anyways, guys, time is now 9:40. I'm telling you what, I'm getting out of here because we got a long week. This weekend coming up, we got the draft now tomorrow. We got Friday night, Edgewood Warriors take on the Grand Valley Mustangs, which I'm pretty excited about. It's going to be a great weekend. Don't forget to join us live. Don't forget tonight, if you can, go on to our Facebook page and follow us. It'd be great. Again, we're almost up to 1,400 followers. Hell yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, that's right. So go check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We have a website, www.440andgoal.com. We are in the midst right now. We are going to start all of the league leaders. League leaders will be published, or not league, excuse me, but county leaders will be published tomorrow. That updated list, and that will be on the Facebook page, the Instagram page, as well as the website.
All right, guys. This is Ryan Cole, a.k.a. Panama Jack. I just need some sunglasses. I'm getting the heck out of here tonight. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. And congratulations to Ben Scabona for winning Player of the Week.
This is Sam Torres. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to tune in to us Friday as the Edgewood Warriors take on the Grand Valley Mustangs. Big shout out to Ben Scabona for coming on the show tonight. Congratulations on having a great week. Good luck to all the teams we discussed tonight, particularly Geneva, because I think those boys are going 3-0.
Heck yeah, this is Tom. I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you Friday.
Big deuces. Bye, guys. Thanks again.
Rebound taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Sam right in time. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spending with Sam Ryan time. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you wanna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.